Hi, my name's Phil Faso. I'm the writer and director of TROMEO Found 25 years later. And here is a title screen which was created by Chris Carticello. He was a big part of the project here. But we're not here to talk about me or Chris. We are here to talk about this man, the indie god, the legend, Will Keenan himself, Tromeo Q. So, how did this project come about, you might ask? Well, like a lot of my projects, it started with a question. And the question was, what happened to 25 years later to Tromeo here? And I posited that question. I said, I'd love to write that script and give it to Will as a gift. And Will said, not only do I want you to write it, not only do I want to act in it, I want you to direct it. So my response was, what? I had never directed anything before. In fact, this is my only project to date. And I had never been on a movie set. My first time was directing Tromeo Found, believe it or not. And Will decided to pop right into character here. So he has been accosted here, Tromeo, by Larry Benjamin's daughter from Terra Firma, Audrey Benjamin. And she is trying to ascertain exactly that question that I asked. And there's some cane acting. You'll see Will do a bunch of that. That was a great prop to have on set. And here's Tromeo's running away. But he's about to be stopped dead in his tracks when Audrey mentions his beloved Juliet. And sometime over the last 25 years or so, they have been on the outs and they are divorced now. And you are about to watch Will Keenan tongue fuck a flower. And I'm pretty sure in the history of recorded audio commentaries, that is the first time that has ever been stated. So, a little bit about Will's wardrobe here. When we got talking about the project, Will said, hey, what do you think Tromeo should wear? And I pulled up a picture I had from him from a number of years ago, and I said, this would be great, something like this. And he said, hey, I have that outfit still. So he has the jacket and the waistcoat and the tie and the shirt, and he actually fit in them to give Tromeo a very, very dapper look here. And Tromeo is about to launch into some lines from Tromeo and Juliet here. He talks about the glass cage and the cow costume. I tried to include some stuff for the Tromites here as far as the details from Tromeo and Juliet go, and some Shakespearean stuff as well. Keep things wonderfully alive here. And speaking of what has become of Tromeo, you can see that we have the cemetery here that he's walking around in. This is actually on St. Babs. That's Will's church in Cape May, New Jersey, named after his past mother. And Will is a little upset here as Tromeo. He's affected by Juliet being brought up, but he has plenty to talk about as far as Tromeo himself here goes, too, and he's about to tell us to strap in, because it'll be a wild ride we're going to go on. And I was actually very lucky to have Will as my first actor here and my first project. He brought it all. You know, he's dialed in on the character like he played him last week for the first time instead of 25 years ago. And the way Will would modulate his line, sometimes going from low to high to low to high, it was really interesting the way he brought that passion and energy back to Tromeo. So as far as Tromeo's past here, a lot of that is from Will's past himself. I included some of that in there. The stuff about being a schmactor, writer, director, producer, all that stuff. And he even goes on to talk later on one of the other set pieces about digital content. That's all stuff from Will's life. And it cashed in really well for Tromeo here. I mean, he's just an extended version of Tromeo as Will Keenan. And Will Keenan is Tromeo. And he is being challenged by Audrey here, and he's not too happy about that. Because there's these two camps out there. These people who praise Tromeo for what he's done over his career, and those who despise him and think he's a diva. Which camp you land in is up to you, but I'm definitely in the first camp. And he's going to, you can tell he's really animated here. You know, he modulates from high to low on the drop of a dime. And he's got that cane going still. And you see the trucks going in the background. That's kind of funny because we filmed that first scene not only by Will's camper there on the back of his property. Oh, there's the Thor moment with the cane to the sky. But we also filmed that up front by his front door, which shows up in one of the earlier trailers I put together. But the problem was that there was too much noise, so we moved that back. So Will is really dialed in and launched into Tromeo here. And we are about to head toward my favorite set piece of the entire project here. And watching Will play this character after 25 years ago just gets me going. I'm really excited. But here we are at the boat, and Will is steering the boat with that cane of his. And part of this is that, so we had the camper on there, we had the cemetery, and we had the boat. I don't know if Chris or Will or I suggested it, but one of us said, hey, we should try to film some stuff on the boat as well. I said, yeah, that'd be great. Give us a little more production value. And TROMEO thinks he's really steering the boat. We'll get back to that in a little bit later. And it's kind of ridiculous because this is supposed to be a walk and talk. It would never actually happen, so you wouldn't have transitions like that right there. But we figured it was a farce, so it was okay to get away with stuff like that. We didn't think the Tromites would mind. And it gives Will a chance to do some acting as if he's driving a boat here. And I'm happy he didn't knock himself out with that cane because he swings it around by his head a bunch of times, and that would have made it a whole different filming experience. So here he's talking about digital content, and there's this one great piece here coming up. I'll let you know when it hits. Here it is. So he's in the middle of his speech, and the car driving by bothers him, and he turns and says, we're shooting here, and then launches right back into where he's got to go talking about himself. Will's really gifted at physical comedy. So this is the best because this is my favorite scene that proves that TROMEO is insane. He thinks he's guiding the boat along here, but as you can see, it's up on blocks. He's not actually driving a boat anywhere, but he's driving his way through TROMEO's history here. And he's been through a bunch over the last 25 years. Yes, he rocked. He did. But now he's on to further pursuits, and we'll see what those are shortly when I come to the outcome. By the way, hashtag Winston Palmer here. Hashtag Winston Palmer. You might get that, you might not. It's a little bit of an inside thing, but that's good. And here he is once again steering the boat with his cane. Told you that cane came into play a lot. But hey, he's tried to escape Hollywood, tried to escape film, and it's not going to get away from him. And Audrey thinks he's going to go back into schmacting, but he's got much more grandiose plans. He's aiming much, much higher than that this time around, because as he will say, schmacting ain't nubbin, honey. Love that line. There it is. So what could he possibly be on to? Well, Audrey's got my curiosity. Let's find out. Audrey is played by Will's very pregnant wife, Maura, and she did the sound on this, so we were very happy to have her. She did a great job with someone who's never acted before. And speaking of real acting, Will is about to drive the boat with his ass. Another line that I don't think you've ever heard in the commentary. Here we are in the grand big finale here now. Okay, Will is approaching his new project here. So he had a partner in Juliet all those years, and now he needed a different partner. A genius of like mind, as I wrote it and Will read it. Someone who will bring him to the precipice of history here. And I think someone who will very much excite Troma fans, because I delved back. If I'm going to use Will Keenan in something, and maybe my only shot at directing, I might as well get everything I can out of him. And he is about to start a takeover here with none other than the world's first hermaphroditic serial killer. Yes, for those of you who've watched Terra Firma, you know who Casey Kaufman is. And I've brought him back, and so is TROMEO here. And he is about to open up. Yes, here it is. TROMEOville Studios, that great sign made by Chris Carticello, and it's over that painting of Lloyd that we found and plugged in just about every scene in Will's Church where we found that. So they're going to kick Lloyd Kaufman out, probably because Lloyd's old and crumpled and useless and old. I was very happy. I want to thank Chris, and you'll see my name and his all over the place here. And Will Keenan and Maura Keenan, everyone was game for this, and it was great. We'd love to do more of these things. I have a bunch of them in the idea stage, and I actually have a script written for one. So Jane Jensen, Juliet Found is waiting for you out there as the companion piece. Anyway, folks, it's been fun talking to you about TROMEO and Juliet here, giving you a little bit of background and experience. And hopefully we'll get some more made for you. We'd very much like to have a whole series of these. Thank you so much for listening. My name is Phil Faso, and I'm the writer and director here, and you have a great day now. Be cool. No flowers were harmed in the making of this picture.